In this episode of Between the Cracks, we chat with Kathleen about her unexpected journey into the auto repair business and her community involvement. She shares insights from her 30-year career and the rewarding challenges of running classic auto repair service.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Between the Cracks podcast. I'm Madden.
And I'm Matt.
Today, we are joined by the wonderful Kathleen Seal of Classic Auto Repair Shop, I believe. The acronym is CARS. She works for CARS.
She works for CARS. Not car.
No, but CARS. C-A-R-S. And Kathleen has been a friend to Scooter for many years, and she actually services my car. She services Burgess' car, most of Scooter's vehicles. She's the classic repair auto shop we trust.
Absolutely. If you want to go to someone that really values taking care of people, that's where you want to go.
Yeah, she is fabulous with customer service. I love calling her up and talking to her. And she really does care about making sure your car is safe, which is very important.
Absolutely.
So let's hear what Kathleen has to say.
There we go.
All right. Well, Kathleen, I appreciate you coming here today.
Absolutely.
And helping us with this and trying to give a little insight into what you do and a little about you.
All right.
Where are you? I've known you for a regular while now. How long has it been?
It's been almost 11 years.
Really?
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
Yes, it is.
How time flies.
Wow. But yeah, I've been doing work with Classic Auto for, it used to be Bonner and Son, that's Classic Auto for, I guess, going on 30 years, and I've always been very satisfied. You know, we'll wait and see what the upcoming one we got.
Hey now. We didn't build the car.
I know. A little bit about you. Where are you from?
I am from Virginia, is what I say. I was born in New York. 2 weeks later, we moved to right outside of Chicago. Then 4 years later, we moved to Fairfax. And then when I was a sophomore in high school, we moved to Roanoke.
Oh, really?
So, been in Virginia for most of my life.
Most of your life.
Exactly.
Except for the brief weeks in New York. All right. Well, tell us something about your family.
Something about my family. I've got a wonderful husband.
You
Anthony.
have to say that.
Well, it's true. So, wouldn't be doing this without him.
Right.
Met Anthony at UVA. We both graduated from there, and then we moved here to Richmond, got married, and had Christmas all in the same week. So that's how we began.
Okay.
And then we've got 2 children. Our daughter Morgan, who's 28, who lives up in D.C. and works for the National Council for Mental Health or Mental Well-Being. I need to remember which one it is. And then she works in IT. And then our son Colin, who is an auditor for Forbes downtown Richmond.
I really didn't know. I've met him before.
Yes.
I've met him and I've met your husband. But I've never met your daughter, I don't believe.
I don't think so. No, she hasn't been hanging around the shop very much.
She's not a shop girl?
She's not a shop girl. You know, when we first took it over, she really didn't have too much of an interest. Now, Colin, he loves cars.
Yeah, well, you're a shop girl.
I've become one.
You've become one, yeah.
I was not either.
Yeah.
That was not my plan.
Well, tell us something interesting about you.
Something interesting about me is this was never my plan. Mm-hmm. I worked in nonprofit development, and so I started out, once we had children, I decided to stay home, and so I was a terrible stay-at-home mom. So I needed to always be doing something. So I volunteered for Meals on Wheels. Cool. And so Morgan and I, when she was 7 months old, I guess I started. So she was in her little car carrier, and we would go and deliver meals once a week and just loved it. Mm-hmm. And so continued on with that until Colin came along. And at that point, I just couldn't deliver with both of them.
Right.
And then, but I helped out in the office. So I would do office work and that sort of thing. And so finally, when my friends was saying, you need to start working here. And I said, I can't until the kids are in school. So when the kids were in school, she's like, okay, it's time for you to start working for us. So worked for Meals on Wheels in development. And then Meals on Wheels became Feed More with the food bank. And so worked at Feed More in development while the kids were in school, and then an opportunity came along to have a shop.
Well, that's my next question: is how did you end
How
up with
on-
the repair shop?
How on earth did that happen?
Yeah, like I said, you just don't no offense, remind me of a shop girl. Well, at least the shop
exactly.
girls I knew in the earlier life of that organization.
Exactly. No, it's a little different. So my husband is all into cars, and so he and his dad did street rods for years, and so he was working on his 1970 Opel GT, and it has a carburetor, and not many techs knew carburetors and that sort of thing. So Chuck Bonner was referred to him, and so he took him the Opel, and I guess this was second or third time that he had to go to him, and he said, when we went in, he's like, well, I'm going to be closing down. And so we're like, okay, well, just let us know where you go. Anthony said, well, we'll follow you wherever you are. And
Right. He was good.
Oh, yeah. Chuck was great.
Yeah.
And he knew so much about the old cars.
Yeah.
So that was fantastic. So he came and picked up the car after it was done. He's like, I like your car. It'll be my last one. And we're like, okay, we'll see you when it's done.
I didn't know he was that, because he's been telling me for 10 years
Oh, was he really?
that he's going to shut down. It sounds like when you said your car was going to be the last one, he's probably serious about it this time.
Yeah, apparently he had a buyer. And so when we picked it up, we said, what are you doing? And he said, I don't know. The deal fell through. And then Anthony asked the question of, well, number one, how much do you want for the business? And number two, would you stay if someone bought it? And so he gave a number, and Anthony said, well, would you stay? And he said, well, yeah, I don't want to move my toolbox. It's too big.
It was.
Exactly. It was huge. And literally 2 weeks later, we owned a shop.
That's funny.
Anthony said, Kathleen's always wanted to run her own business. I just didn't know it was auto repair.
That's cool. What type of certifications do you have to have as an owner? Is it different than the guys like Edward working in the shop? Do you have to have certifications?
So for me as an owner, owners really don't have to.
Right.
It's great if they do, because then they're more knowledgeable. But I learned so much, number one, from Chuck, and then number two, from Edward and the other guys who've been working in there.
Right.
So I've been able to become a certified state inspector. So before I knew nothing about cars, and so now I can actually go and take a look and
Inspect.
inspect them.
Left light,
So-
right light, yeah, blow the horn.
Blow the horn.
Yeah. So that's a state certification you got to have to do
To be an inspection shop.
inspection shop, right? And not all places are
No,
certified for
No.
that.
because you have to have, there are certain requirements that the shop
Right.
has to have. So, and then the technicians, depending upon all their training, some of them are, ASC certified, some have other certifications, so it just depends upon how much training
Right.
they all go through. So, and I'm also part of the Automotive Training Institute, where we get a whole bunch of different training for owners and service advisors as well as technicians.
It's nice to be able to reach
So-
out, have a group of people reach out to.
Yes. Yes, that makes a huge difference, especially for someone who knew nothing about
Right.
the auto industry. So it was kind of like a deer in the headlights as I was
Right.
starting out.
Well, I applaud you for taking on something just completely out of your
Out of my
bailiwick.
comfort zone.
Definitely out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges of running a repair shop? I mean, we don't have so much time. So
I was going to say,
the
how
top
much
ones.
time do you have?
Yeah.
Good golly. It is challenges. Well, it's the number of cars, the differences in all the cars and the electronics these days. They're fantastic safety features. But once you start having issues with them, you can have electronic gremlins
Yeah.
running all over the place. And it could take quite a bit of time to find where the actual problem is, if it's in wiring or harnesses and such.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
So
I think I'm
that's-
going to be familiar with those gremlins before it's over with. Well, what
I used to
about
love the 1971 gremlin.
exactly.
what about? I guess the same question about antique cars. Because I know y'all always have 2 or 3 of them in there, like you said.
We do.
What's the challenges of those?
So with those
Parts?
are parts and just how old they are and how long the parts have been on there. And so there's a lot of rust that builds up, and it's
Right.
hard to get parts off. And then it's time and, time and parts. And the classics, we don't work on much of them anymore since now Chuck is gone.
Right.
So, yeah, the projects that you see in there are pretty much our own.
Your own, okay. What's the single most important thing or things people can do to their vehicle as far as keeping them running and in good shape?
Maintenance.
Maintenance.
That is the number one thing.
Right.
We, at our shop, we want to make sure that you are keeping your car maintained because it's one of your biggest investments beyond a house.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so blasted expensive these days that so you want to make sure, you're following the maintenance schedules. Do your oil changes, do your flushes, make sure you're not wasting money. You're not throwing
Right.
it away. Because if you're following that, you're going to be keeping the car going as long as possible.
I've always been good about getting the oil changed and stuff like that. Even before I ran into you, when I was with Chuck and everything, I'd always rotate the tires,
Yep.
check the tire pressure, and change the oil in it.
Exactly.
Flush the radiator out.
Exactly. Well, see, and there are things that, you can do on your own. You can change your air filter, your cabin air filter, make sure your tire pressures are at the right level. So, I mean, these are things that, everyone who's driving a car can make sure to take care of themselves and not have, save a little bit of money.
Right. Any experience, or y'all started getting into the electric cars?
We have not yet.
Really?
No, I've only seen a couple of Teslas that have come in to get state inspections. But that's all that we've done with those yet. No, I haven't.
What are you going to do when somebody pulls up there and says, I think I got a dead battery? I mean, would that be trial and error? We all go to YouTube, see how to replace them?
With something like that, we're just not equipped at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause
So I don't even want to enter.
Right. I guess you would need a charging station there. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. Is there anything else coming up possibly legislatively or that can affect your industry or affect us as consumers?
So what they were talking about, a year or two ago, was doing away with the state inspections. And that, to me, would be one of the worst things possible. State inspections are $20. That's all that we're, allowed to charge. It's $20 for a vehicle.
You can only charge $20 for them?
That's the fee for the state inspections.
Really? I did not know that.
It's through the state police. And now if you're charging, convenience fees or service fees
Right.
for credit cards or something like that, that's on top of it. But
I did not know that.
inspections are $20. And so they used to be, 16? Several years ago.
I didn't know it was set by the state.
Yep, set by the state. And so when they were trying to do away with that, we felt that was one of the worst things that could happen, because if
Yeah.
you see vehicles that are from, number one, the north, with all the salt and the snow that's up there, you see so much rust.
Yeah.
And there are states that don't have inspections. And so when you get these cars that are rusted up and the frames are starting to rust, they're not safe. And yet people are driving around on
For
the car.
them and the people meeting them on the road.
Exactly. So it's not just the safety of you, it's the safety of all those around you as well. And so when they were saying, we're going to be saving Virginians money, I'm like, it is $20 that it's done once a year. And to have that peace of mind, that to know that you are driving a safe vehicle and that the other people around you are driving a safe vehicle, to me, it's $20 well spent.
I think we've all grown up. I mean, I've grown up with automobiles. Have been around them all my life.
Starting with that A model?
Yeah. It was T.
Okay.
But if you think about it, we got so used to beep, we get so used to, we're meeting cars at 60 miles or 80 miles an hour with this much separating you. And we do it without even thinking about it. I read a thing one time. Can you imagine what would happen if you brought Benjamin Franklin back there and put him in a car, and all of a sudden he's going down the road and somebody's coming at you at 60 miles an hour and stuff? The reaction that they would have. But
Right.
we've become so in tune with it, don't even think about it.
Exactly.
Well, two other questions. Do you have any interesting characters that hang around your shop?
So, Scooter.
I don't hang around like I used to. I was discouraged from coming around on my Tuesdays.
Not discouraged. It was just a different environment.
Yes, it was. Cold water and cold beer are two different things, aren't they?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, there are always interesting people
Yeah.
that come through the doors. You just never know
What's going to pop through there?
who's going to come by and the professions they may be in.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
It's very interesting. And one of the neatest thing for me is, you get to know the customers and you get to talk to them and hear about what's going on in their lives.
Yeah.
And so many times, you hear about some struggles that people are going through. And for me personally, I'm a faithful person, and I always share, I'll be praying for you. You'll be on my prayer list. And so to me, that's one of the nicest things that I can do.
Oh, yeah.
Just knowing that people are going through difficult times
Right.
and saying, hey,
Well, good for
I've
you.
got you covered in prayer as well.
Appreciate that. Although you've never told me that. You really haven't.
You're in my prayers.
All right. Do you have anything else you think somebody would like to hear? Anything else you can think of?
So one of the things that I do want to share is Classic Auto Repair Service is also community minded. And so we do things for the community. We've helped out with doing coat drives and, winter clothing drives for the homeless. We go to St. Peter's Church downtown, and they've got a pretty decent sized homeless population. So we help them out.
Well, good.
We have worked with the Cleveland Clinic breast cancer vaccine research. In October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so for the past several years, we've been doing Breaks for Breasts in October. And so we've got a vendor.
I know this.
Yeah, we have a vendor who provides free brake pads, and then 10% of the job goes to the Cleveland Clinic breast cancer vaccine research. So this past October, we had a really great month. Customers came in, and we were able to donate over $1,100
Well, that's great,
to the
Kathleen.
Cleveland Clinic. So 2 ladies who have shops, I believe, up in Ohio, had started this campaign. And I believe this is the 11th or 12th year that they've been doing it. And in that time, it's grown so much, and it's now nationwide. And I believe, if I remember correctly, they said that they've donated $1 million.
Really?
So, yeah, so it's been fantastic. And the researchers rely on the donations so much.
Well, outstanding.
So, so that's exciting. And then I also help with the Chesterfield Education Foundation. So the foundation is there to help Chesterfield County Public Schools teachers and students, and in things that's trying to make everything equitable for the students and providing equitable opportunities for learning for them. So the foundation they do the innovation grants for teachers. So you have to apply, and if you have something that's really neat in your teaching and you want to do something for the kids, you can put something together and apply to receive a grant for that. So there have been things like an outdoor garden, things for a puppets theater, I believe was one of them. Another, there's so many different things that go on, especially in the STEM and the STEAM arenas, and robotics and that sort of thing. And so those things really help and engage the students. And then there are also scholarships that are provided for the seniors, the graduating seniors. So the foundation provides a lot of support for the Chesterfield County Public School students.
That's cool.
So
Do y'all do anything with the tech center?
we haven't done anything with them for years. I did have one student that was with us, oh golly, this is when Chuck was still around. So probably 5 or 6 years ago. He came after school and worked for a few hours during the week. And that was a great opportunity for him,
Right.
coming in and learning and that sort of thing. So that's something that I want to get back into.
Well, neat.
Yeah. So
Anything else?
we are,
Other than being one of the best repair shops I've ever been associated with.
well, we do
not,
our
not
best.
Kidding. Not kidding.
Well,
I'm not
I
kidding
appreciate
about
that.
Yeah.
Well, we really try to focus on our customers and do what's best for the customer in the shop.
Right.
So we want to make sure that, especially when we're seeing a car for the first time, we let you know from headlight to tailpipe what we see. And we don't need you to do all the work at once, but we want you to know this is what your car looks like, and this is how, we see it and what we suggest. And to keep it maintained, this is what you need to do, and you can plan out what you need.
That's that little color chart.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like that little color chart.
Well, and now we do digital inspections as well, so we can send it to your phone and to your email, and it comes with pictures.
I like killing trees myself. As everybody in here will attest to.
Trees are nice. We want to keep
Trees are nice, but that's an industry that needs to be supported, but it's a renewable resource. Well, I'm going to ask you a tough question. We like to give something to a charity of your choice. Can you narrow it down to one?
So one.
Yeah.
Well, I would say right now, since we're really involved with Chesterfield Education Foundation, I would love to, do something with them.
Okay.
And, help out the public school students and teachers. That would be
Well,
fantastic.
We'll reach out and get contact information or whatever. But
That would be awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.
Enjoyed this. We love you. So, and
I guess so.
all the people here.
All the times I come over there. But no, I've told people before, I've told Janice, my wife, before about this. It's one of the things I don't have to worry about. If y'all tell me something is broken, I know it's broken. Y'all give it to me to the best of your ability, and I appreciate
Exactly.
that. So,
We do our best, and we appreciate you.
Okay.
We want to thank Kathleen for coming and talking with Scooter about all of those wonderful things about her car repair shop. She's really close by, but she still took the time to come, stop by, and hang out with us for a little while.
So what's your favorite car?
I don't think anyone's
Like
ever...
if you could buy any car, what would that car be?
Okay, no one's ever asked me this before because I'm a girl and I don't really care about cars. However,
Girls can like cars
I
too.
know girls can like cars too. I'm a girl that doesn't care about cars.
Of course you are. I have yet to find anything she does care about yet.
There are things I care about. But let's see. The car that I want is a Toyota RAV4. But that's just
Yeah, I shouldn't have asked her
that's a
this question.
practicality thing.
Toyota RAV4. I should never have asked this question.
I don't know why you did. That's you expected me to really have an answer to that. What's your favorite car?
I'm driving my favorite car.
Your pickup truck or your
Yes.
SUV?
My Ram.
Your Ram pickup truck.
1500 Laramie Longhorn.
Laramie.
Special edition. I love that thing. It has the saddlebags in it. It's just a beautiful. I love that car so
I don't
much.
think I've been in your truck. Every time we've driven,
Really?
we've been in the SUV.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I don't think
I
I've
love
ever
it.
done
I love it so much.
Well, that's
So-
good. You should be driving your dream car.
I honestly think about sometimes like if I could get a new Ram, would I get it? And I don't know. If I did, it would have to be the same style as it already is. The only thing that would improve about my truck is to have like Google Android in it. Or the Android Auto. in
Yeah,
it.
Android Auto. Yeah, I just went from a 2013 Acura, 2016 Acura, and I love it. I love my current car. My mom just so graciously gifted the car to me, and I really appreciate that because it's nice to drive a little bit of a newer car, but I would definitely prefer to have Apple CarPlay in it, but that's okay. I'm existing without it thus far.
Well, all right then.
We want to thank Kathleen for coming and talking with Scooter and just sharing about her small business.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of the Between the Cracks podcast.
Be sure to like, follow, and share.
And subscribe.
Goodbye.
Have a great day, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Between the Cracks podcast.